Sailing on the waters of Lake Ontario this summer, watching the Toronto skyline, I had only one thing on my mind: bees. For a long time, I've wanted to know more about Africanized bees, and it just so happened I knew a bee expert who could come and talk about them.
What are you doing now?
Well, now that I'm not working, I'm doing a documentary about the Africanized bees, and and I have to go to Pennsylvania to do this.
Really?
Bees?
We just got bees.
Yeah.
You
You
guys
should
have-
come and see our bees.
Yeah, we have one or two hives back there.
Yeah, we have a couple.
They're
Yeah.
not our bees, but there's friends of ours. They're having their bees on our property.
Yeah.
So I think they have 2 hives, and they are bringing 4 more tall boxes in.
So, if I were to get Chris to come to Canada, would I be able to use your property and bees?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the kids would love it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
I'd like to welcome Christopher Maniz, a world-renowned beekeeper and naturalist, and an expert on the Africanized bees.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So, Christopher, you're called Bees Maniz by your peers. What do you think makes you one of the most world-renowned apiarists with the Africanized bees?
Well, I think I'm unique. I was at the age of 8 years old. I had some interest in nature, and my dad brought him a book, and I was fascinated with it. He wanted to get some bees and start up a beehive, and I was curious about it. And so as time went by, after 5 years, I just happened to stumble on a swarm of bees, and through a friend, and right away I wanted to get a hive, and we were able to hive those bees, and I started beekeeping at that age.
Wow. There was a period of time in the 1980s when the term Africanized bees entered the social lexicon. Can you explain to me why this was such a terrifying phenomenon in North and South America?
In 1956, the Brazilian government wanted to boost their honey production, so they thought they should try to crossbreed different strain of honeybees. So they went to Africa, and they brought back a strain of honeybee called Scudalada to Brazil, and they crossbreeded with another strain of honeybee.
Can you tell me one of the strangest places you've ever captured a swarm?
Well, one of the strangest places I have ever captured a swarm was in a coffin, and the bees were able to get in the tomb, and they find their way into the coffin, and the bees built the entire coffin with their combs from head to toe, and I was there to assist another beekeeper in getting the bees out.
Wow. Can you tell me the specific role of the queen bee?
She has 2 roles in the beehive: is to release a chemical substance to stabilize the colony, and the second role is to lay plenty of eggs.
So, according to compliance management company Discernus, honey is the 3rd most fake food on the planet. Explain.
Yes, because people adulterate honey and they use corn syrup to make a profit. So we have to stop honey adulteration. Honeybees fertilize about over $15 to $20 billion annually in the United States, and so they're vital for pollination, because no bees, no seeds, no trees.
Chris, you're amazing. Keep up the good work.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey Jackson!
We're having fun. I am Christopher's younger sister, Christina. Having a lovely day learning about bees.
So cool. Went to see bees, saw hives, saw swarming, saw many different, and there's some things I didn't know about bees. It's so cool, interesting.
While we're about to have our interview,
Time to go catch some bees.
a hive on Mark and Lindsay's farm swarmed. What an incredible opportunity to get up close and personal with the bees. I've learned that swarming was normal bee behavior, but recapturing them was a mixture of luck and skill. How incredible that all those bees will protect their queen. Somewhere in the 40,000 bees was the queen. Once the queen goes into the new hive, all of the bees will follow. Christopher Moniz, the master beekeeper, no longer wears a bee suit.
The vibration? It's like a little electric, yeah.
A little electric bee.
So there you go.
Right? Okay, this is in the phallus that comes out when he mates. And then you see two little glands come out on the side. When they copulate, then this stuff right there
The white
in the
stuff?
middle,
Oh, in the middle.
right there is what comes out.
And that's the...
She keeps that in a spermatheca.
Do all bees have stingers?
The honeybees, the workers, and the queen, they have stinger, but the drone bee, which is the male bee, doesn't have a stinger.
Why did they swarm?
Well, if they get overcrowded, they usually swarm, but they also swarm to spread their genes.
Now I'm off to meet our local beekeepers. Melissa and Kerry from Happiness and Honeybees have been keeping hives in their backyard, and I'm here to learn more about why beekeeping. I would like to introduce Melissa and Kerry, two beekeepers from Ontario. Thank you for welcoming me into your home. So what have you found to be the biggest challenge to beekeeping?
Time.
Yeah.
It doesn't take, beekeeping doesn't take a lot of time, but what is it that you always say?
It's not time consuming, but it's time sensitive.
Yes.
Like things happen and you have to be there at that moment.
So Melissa, you're allergic to bees, and yet you keep beekeeping.
I do, yeah. I love working with the bees. I couldn't imagine not doing it. And they're not aggressive. If you treat them with respect, they're not going to sting you.
So then you took Christopher Moniz, the bee expert from the US, to inspect the aggressive colony of bees. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah.
He came actually, and when we were talking about him coming, and we were looking him up and seeing what he did, and we realized he was an expert in Africanized bees. We thought maybe he'll help us with our angry bees because we didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah. So it was a great opportunity for us to bring him over and check them out, and he did, and we were nervous about it, and they were beautiful with him.
Yeah.
Like so calm. They were not mean. But watching Chris work with them, it was clear to us, and Chris did share with us, that we weren't smoking them enough and communicating to them enough that we were going to be working with them. And that seems to be one of Chris's approaches, where he's very respectful of them, so lets them know before he comes into their space by smoking the entrance, smoking the outside, smoking at every crack, and he just said you just need more smoke for these bees.
Read their communication. So we've caught swarms before, and what we usually do is we cut them out of the tree and we sort of just start scooping the bees and putting them into the hive, and until we almost had all of them.
Yeah.
I would say we would work. Whereas Christopher taught us to just, hang back and read the bees. He just took the middle, or he found the queen out of a million bees. He was I don't know if he was just watching them and he was like, oh, there's the queen. And he took her carefully, put her in the box, and then
The rest of the bees just followed. It was amazing.
So the kids were right in there with Christopher. What do you think about how he teaches youth about bees?
That was great to watch him. Work with Penelope and Jackson. I think too, we're both familiar with working with children and know children's curiosities, but so they were definitely curious about these bees, and Chris was so, again, just calm, and they followed his lead, and to the point where they had their suits on and they were covered in bees all over their veil, their back, and they were leaning right over the hive, not a worry.
Amazing. So have you made changes or improvements to the methods now that you were working with Christopher?
We light a good smoker.
we do like a good smoker.
What do you
Certainly
mean?
do.
We get a lot of smoke going. So pine needles we found create a lot of smoke. Pine cones we've been using since learning from him. And we definitely smoke well before opening our hive.
So I've tasted your honey and it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you both so much for taking the time to speak with me. I've learned so much about people in the bee life and bee behavior, raising and caring for bees. I can't help but think that there's more to come.
Here's the bees.
Cheers to honeybees.
Take care of these bees. To really use a good smoker.
I have always wanted to be a beekeeper.